Hello, so today's topic is for grade 4, that is adaptations in plants. First of all, two terms should be clear: habitat and adaptations. What is habitat? Simply the place where any organism naturally lives and reproduces, that is known as habitat. And adaptation, these are the special features of the organisms which help them so that they can survive in particular environment, that is known as adaptation. For example, few trees they are very tall, few leaves they have waxy coating, few trees they shed their leaves in particular season. So these are the different features of the plants. Few plants they can survive even in less amount of water. So these are few features of the plants, and because of these special features only they can survive in particular environment. These special features are only known as the adaptations. First of all, we have two types of plants on the basis of where do we find them. First one is terrestrial plants. Terrestrial plants are the one which we find there on the land. Now in this we have first of all plants in plains. Plants in plains which we find there are the one which have lots of leaves, and most of the time these are covered with the leaves, but there is some particular few trees, there is some particular season when they shed their leaves and new leaves they grow in some particular another season, right? It happens in spring and in autumn season. So these type of trees are known as, what do we call them? We call them deciduous trees. Second, on the other hand, there are few trees they do this process for the whole year. There is no particular season in which they will shed their leaves. Those type of trees are known as evergreen trees. So the type of trees we find here in the plain, for example, mango, rose, these are examples. Second one is plants which you find there in the desert. Desert is the area most of the time which is most of the area is covered with sand. In most of the time they do not have any rainfall, so there is very less amount of water. So the type of plants we find here in the desert are the one which can grow even in less amount of water. For example, cactus. Cactus has the feature, it has taken fleshy stem to store the water. And second thing, its leaves are modified into the spines for protection purpose also, and for the purpose to reduce the loss of water, to reduce that rate. Third one is plants in the mountain, in the hilly region, in the mountains. The type of plants we find here are the one which are very tall, straight, and they have cone shape. Instead of flowers they have cones into them where they have seeds. The examples of plants we find here in the mountain regions are, for example, fir, pine, spruce. These are few examples. After this, marshy areas. Marshy areas, the areas most of the time, these are covered with water, and the plants which grow here, they do not get proper, they do not have enough air to breathe. That's why the roots of these plants, they comes out of the soil so that they will assist in breathing, and we call these roots breathing roots. The examples of the trees which we find here are mangroves. Next one is coastal. All the areas, for example, which are near the oceans, right? These are coastal areas. So the type of plant we find here, for example, coconut. Next one is rainforest. Rainforest where we find herbs, shrubs, and even most of the time there is the areas where there is lot of rainfall. We find here different varieties of trees, and they have lots of leaves. Next one is aquatic plants. The plants which grow in water, we call them aquatic plants. There are three categories: floating, fixed, and underwater. Now first of all, fixed plants are the plants whose roots, from the roots they are fixed into the soil. They have long stem, and these type of plants, they get their nutrition from the soil only, but their part it grows on the surface of the water. For example, lotus, water lily, these are the examples of the fixed plants. Second one is underwater. Underwater plants are the one which grows under the surface of the water, and their roots are fixed into the bed of the soil. So they get their nutrition from this only. They do not have stomata. They breathe with the help of their surface. For one more property of this, their stem, their leaves, they are kind of ribble like, very flexible, so that they can move along with the current of the water. After this, for example, take grass. Next one is this, floating. Floating are the one, they are very small in size and their roots are not fixed anywhere into the soil. These are the one which can easily move on the float on the surface of the water. For example, duckweed. Next is insectivorous. Insectivorous plants are the plants which do not prepare their food by their own. For their food, they depend upon some another thing, that is insects. So insectivorous plants, from its name only, we can recognize these insectivorous plants are the plants which feed on insects, which eat insects, which get their nutrition from the insects. For example, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Venus flytrap, it has two lobes. You can see these, it has spines on the, its leaves are like this, and its leaves are very sensitive. Whenever they senses any insect, then they immediately snap shut. Okay, so it has two lobes and it is, earlier it is open. As they feel any on the hinges, when they feel any on the leaves, they feel any insect, they are very sensitive, they immediately snap shut. So insect will be here inside and they will get its nutrition from that dead insect. Next one is pitcher plant. Pitcher plant is also one type of insectivorous plant only. In the pitcher plant, how it happens, its shape is like a pitcher. That's why we call it pitcher plant. Its edges, these are very slippery. So when it senses any insect, then as it, this one is very slippery, so that if any insect will sit over it, it will slip inside. Okay, and from here it will closes. So this is how pitcher plant works. Next one is non-green plants. Non-green plants are the plants, from its name only, which are not green. Now you know that plants are green in color due to the presence of the chlorophyll. So in the non-green plants, they do not have chlorophyll, and for the process of photosynthesis, chlorophyll is required, because chlorophyll, it absorbs the sunlight. So these type of plants, they do not undergo photosynthesis. So it means they do not prepare their food by their own. They take the nutrition from the dead plants and animal matter. Okay, and examples are mushroom and Indian pipe. Okay, this was the whole about this chapter.